There's quite a bit on everybody's mind as we go to this morning's caucus, starting with the potential of a shutdown. The President has continued to reach out to the other side. As you've heard Mr. Van Hollen say on more than one occasion, the Democrats have stepped up to the forefront, initially with $41 billion, and now, in conjunction with the President, even more. I have said repeatedly coming out before here and talking to you that the issue has not been about dealing with a deficit. That is the veneer. The issue for the Republicans, whether it's in Wisconsin, where they want to end collective bargaining, or whether it's here in Washington, D.C., where they want to shrink up government so small they can drown it in a bathtub. Those are the words of Grover Norquist. That is the call of this party. They, led by the Tea Party, are convinced that this is their prime objective. They do not like government. But as I speak, we have men and women in Iraq and Afghanistan. We have support members of our service off the coast of Africa. Our people are in harm's way. It is unprecedented in the history of the country when the nation is at war that one political party would threaten to shut down the government and all the ramifications that occur from that. Look, we have said this repeatedly. Everybody recognizes that we want to deal with the deficit. It is a manageable crisis. This is not a problem. It's manageable. And we all are prepared to step up to the plate. But that is not the agenda here. The agenda here is to shrink up government so small. And who are they shrinking? They're shrinking the elderly, causing unbelievable problems, ending Medicare as we know it. And it's the camel with the nose under the tent with respect to Social Security, another objective tried by the Bush administration, but is just around the corner here with more promises of that, and the impact on Medicaid. Americans want to see a nation that works together, but fundamentally, they want to see something that's fair to them. They recognize the problems that we face, but they want a doctrine of fairness. They want to know that the proposals that are emanating are fair. And how can you put a proposal on the table that only seeks to balance the budget on the backs of the elderly, on the backs of kids that will be losing their Pell Grants, on the backs of veterans who will lose their benefits? This is unconscionable at a time of unprecedented wealth in this nation. It is near a gilded age in this country, but sacrosanct to the Republican Party is not wanting to tax 1% of this nation who have made extraordinarily well during this time, while we're finding the middle class in an incredible squeeze from both sides. This is a time for the nation to come together, and what do we get but gamesmanship on the other side, while our troops are at war, while we're in the midst of a recession, while we're going through a very delicate recovery. This is what we get from the Republicans. Americans want fairness. That's what Chris Van Hollen has set out to do. That's what the Democratic caucus will set out to do, to provide fairness to the American people by way of a budget that they can live with, but by also providing for us the basics that people need to survive, a fundamental social contract around Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid, and making sure that we're providing the kinds of jobs that Americans can gain a living from, support their families, look across the table from their spouse and let them know that they've made it and that they're providing for them. That's what our party has stood for.